Welcome back, everybody, to another segment of the AD Think Tank, sponsored by K12 Sports Tech on the Educational AD Podcast. We'll be right back with this week's Think Tank guest, but as always, we're going to give a shout out to all of our sponsors, including K12 Sports Tech. Um, these are all companies that I used as an AD. They're all great companies. You should be using them too. So take 3 minutes, listen to our shout out, then listen to our Think Tank guest, and then go and visit these sponsors. I'm telling you, you're going to be glad you did. Here we go. K12 Sports Tech helps athletic directors and sport vendors connect through education and hands-on consulting. Athletic directors are also invited to join the K12 Sports Tech AD Think Tank and help influence how companies shape their tech to better serve you and your schools. To get started, just go to K12sportstech.com. That's it, K12sportstech.com. We also want to thank our good friends at Sideline Interactive, indoor score tables and video boards. Go to sidelineinteractive.com and you can schedule a live web demo to see their great products in action. Probably one of the best purchases we ever made was our Sideline Interactive indoor score table. Go to sidelineinteractive.com. Check out their great products today. We also want to say thanks to our friends at Snap. Have you ever spent weeks and weeks with a fundraiser and been disappointed in the results? Well, those days are gone. Go to snapraise.com. It's hands down the best online fundraiser out there. We used it at our school with great success. Our coaches loved it. Our parents loved it. I'm telling you, it works. Go to snapraise.com. Check out their other great platforms. But if you're looking for a fundraiser, you just found it. It's snapraise.com. We also want to thank Home Campus. Home Campus is a platform you're going to use every single day, whether it's scheduling or results, communication. For me, the athletic eligibility and clearance platform alone is incredible. Go to homecampus.com to get started. Don't forget to mention the podcast, homecampus.com. We also want to thank Gipper. Go to Gipper.com if you're not already using it. Their team is going to have you creating world-class content in seconds. It's used and trusted by over 20,000 high school and college programs. And whether it's a small social media post to celebrate a big win or an entire newsletter showcasing all the great things your district is doing, you're going to be doing it in seconds. It's so easy, even I can do it. Go to Gipper.com for more information. We want to say thanks to our friends at Huddle. As a football coach, I used Huddle for years, but when I became an athletic director, I made sure that our school was a Huddle school, and our coaches just loved the tools that Huddle provided. Our athletes loved the videos, and our parents loved the streaming, but there's so much more. Go to Huddle.com. Join the 8 million users. Find out how to turn your school into a Huddle school. We also want to thank Vital Signs Wall of Fame. If you're looking for a really cool way to display your school record boards or show off your school's Hall of Fame, go to Vital Signs Wall of Fame and take a look at their interactive touch screen. That's right, touch screen video consoles. I'm telling you, you put one of these in your gym lobby, your main school hall, or anywhere in your school, it's going to become a magnet for your kids, your coaches, your alumni, sponsors. It's vitalsignswalloffame.com. Don't forget to mention the podcast, Vital Signs Wall of Fame. We want to thank our good friends at Athletic Surveys. You know, at our school, we use surveys for everything, kids, coaches, parents, and the information that would come back on these surveys was almost always over the top positive. It also connected us to those squeaky wheel parents so we could address their issues. But having that 98% approval feedback, all that data, incredibly valuable, especially when you're visiting with a frustrated parent, or how about your school board or even your principal. Go to athleticsurveys.com. They're going to create a custom survey that lets you take the pulse of everybody in your program. That's athleticsurveys.com. We also want to thank Ohio University and their online masters. Now, I didn't get my master's degree from Ohio, but my assistant AD, along with thousands of others, got his there, and it was a great experience. It's very affordable, just 20 months, totally online. And while you complete your master's, you're also completing 11 NIAAA leadership training courses. Go to Ohio University, check out their online masters in athletic administration. And we want to say thanks to our friends at Hometown. Hometown is a lot more than ticketing. They're changing the game for schools and organizations with their suite of solutions for things like digital ticketing, fee-free fundraising, and athletic websites, and a whole lot more. Whether you're an athletic director, a coach, or a school administrator, Hometown makes it easy for you and your school to save time, raise more money, and bring your community together. Go to hometown.com for more information. That's hometown.com. You're going to be very glad you did. Hey, welcome back, everybody, to another segment of the K12 Sports Tech AD Think Tank. Normally, we would have Abby Emerson, the founder of K12 Sports, or Alec Brown, the CEO or COO. Both had something come up, so it's just going to be me and our guest. If you're a regular listener to the podcast, certainly you will remember the interview you had a while back with Sean Blumette. Sean is a certified athletic administrator, also a registered middle school athletic administrator. Good for him on that. And he's the director of athletics at Weir High School, and that's in West Virginia. We're going to hear more about that. But Sean, welcome back to the podcast and welcome to the AD Think Tank.
Yeah, thanks, Jake. I appreciate the opportunity to get with you again, and appreciate Abby and Alec for hooking us up and getting to talk about what we love to do.
Well, again, if you're a new listener to this, we're going to talk about K12 Sports Tech and what the think tank is and how you can join. Normally, Alec or Abby would do that. And then I'm going to have Sean share a little bit about how he heard about the think tank and how he uses it, how it's been beneficial to him. First of all, you need to go to k12sportstech.com, find out all the things that their platform can do. Abby and Alec both have a tremendous background in sports. Abby was involved with a platform called 8 to 18 for a number of years, and that's now part of the great family of Snap, one of our great sponsors. But to make a long story short, she created K12 Sports Tech for a couple of reasons. One was to be an additional way for athletic directors to actually network and connect. We all know the value in building your network. The other aspect of K12 Sports Tech, and I dare say maybe the main aspect, was to connect athletic directors directly with vendors. If you're an athletic director, you are always in a position every single year, every season, of purchasing something important to your program. Maybe it's equipment, maybe it's uniforms, maybe it's a big ticket item like a scoreboard or a score table. And there's a lot of great products out there. There's a lot of products out there to choose from. How do you make that decision? A lot of times, you're probably going to call an AD at another school that you know and say, hey, what do you think about this platform? K12 Sports Tech allows you to dialogue directly with vendors and still connect with those athletic directors. And while you're dialoguing with those vendors, you actually get to tell them, hey, this is what works for us. This is what we need. And the response so far has just been tremendous. The vendors love that ability to talk with ADs. And as I mentioned, networking just can't be overemphasized. It's that important. Sean, share a little bit with the listeners about, your background. Again, tell us your life story in 2 minutes. Talk a little bit about your school and the makeup. And then part 3, how is the AD think tank impacted you really just within this first year of existence?
I came up through the system as many high school level ADs do. Started as a coach back when I was 18, coaching football back in PA where I grew up. And, I figured out real quick that I wasn't cut out to play college football. So I still loved the sport and went back to alma mater, started coaching. And that led me to a couple other stops. And eventually gave me an opportunity to work at the college level at Waynesburg University for a couple of years, coaching and lecturing at the university in the history department, which led me to Brooke High School in West Virginia, Wellsburg, West Virginia, where I spent 12 years, 2 of which was as head football coach. and then moved into administration there. And then when the AD stepped down, I was asked to take on that role, and that started the AD journey back in 2014, 2015 now. And yeah, I spent 9 years at Brook, doing athletics, the high school athletics. We opened a new middle school in 2018. I took that role on, so I was doing combination, um, and had an opportunity this past spring, to move just north of Brook up to Weirton, West Virginia. And for those that aren't familiar with the geography of West Virginia, we're up in the almost extreme northern panhandle. We're actually considered suburban Pittsburgh. We're 45 minutes outside of downtown Pittsburgh, and we actually border PA on one side of us and Ohio on the other. So we get exposed to a lot of different schools, a lot of different organizations in where we're at. But Weir High School student body is about around 650, 700. We'll be in that area. Offer a comprehensive 9 to 12 athletic program, about 16 different varsity sports, have about 200 or so, probably close to 300 roster. I call them roster spots. We have a lot of multi-sport athletes that'll go from football to basketball, or soccer to, into wrestling or whatever. Yeah, I mean, Weir is old steel town. It's old, urban, a little more urban for what you would consider a West Virginia school. We're a city of about 19,000, and located in Hancock County. And like I said, we're about 45 minutes outside of Pittsburgh, about 20 minutes from Pittsburgh International Airport up here. And yeah, I was just sharing with Jake with earlier. We have an exciting time here. We're building, being a city school. As many are, our campus was in one place, and our football stadium was in one place, and our baseball stadium was in another place in town. Well, since 2012, we've started to consolidate, just to upgrade our facilities and make things a little more convenient for our kids and our parents and our programs. So we've now moved our football stadium here on campus. We built a brand new baseball stadium last year, brand new softball complex on the other side of campus. Just adding on a auxiliary gym, new weight room, new training facility. So we're really looking to grow our program and expand our offerings to our kids over the next 6 months to a year. We'll be fully functional and moved in, and right now I say we're about the 80% mark, and the last 20% there were all the fun stuff, the signage and the graphics and the branding and putting the sound systems in and some new scoreboards and things like that. So those are kind of the fun things. I don't have to worry about the architecture. That part's done and the construction's done. So I get to really bear down on some of this fun stuff now. So, but yeah, I've been here, like I said, just finished my first semester here, and really enjoying, and have a great supportive administration here. Our principal here, Ted Arnaud, is a former head football coach, and he actually worked with me. And our superintendent is a former head football coach and has been around the valley for many years. So there's a real good athletic push here in Weir High School.
Boy, that's got to be an exciting time to be there, where some big, impactful facility changes are happening. A great transition into our next topic.
Yeah.
Share a little bit first about how you heard about the think tank, because it's only been out for about a year, and then talk about how it's already impacted you and what you're doing at Weir High School.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I will give you the blame or credit, I guess, for introducing me. I think we did the podcast, AD's Toolbox, a couple years ago, and from there I got to interact with you a little bit through emails and some social media stuff. And I think you had actually sent my initial invitation from K12, and I looked into it, and I reached out to I think it was Abby at the time, and exchanged a couple emails and signed up. And it took off right away. I think within weeks, I was getting emails and messages to participate in various projects. And a lot of the I'll say the simpler ones are the first level ones. You're just phone calls, your survey, your interest surveys. What are you looking for? What kind of technology are you using? What the big one that I'm always happy to get is what'll make your job easier.
Yes.
What'll make your job more functional. Um, so that's and I came to, like I said, I think you said about a year or so, maybe a little over a year ago. And it's been tremendous. It's been I've been part of about six or maybe eight different projects already, talking everything from, like I said, just online surveys to phone calls to Zoom meetings to um, just some product trials. You get to really see what's on the forefront of what some of the vendors have, what some of these guys are coming out with. And that's been a tremendous experience.
For somebody listening and they're still wondering, well, geez, I don't want to get emails and I don't, want this extra. Kind of explain the value of this network. That's again, I think it's unique in our space where athletic directors actually they get contacted and can
Mm-hmm.
directly contact the vendors to help improve the products. What's been your experience with that?
Yeah, well, the first thing I'll talk about is don't worry about being overwhelmed, because I mean, yes, Abby Alec and K12 and all their vendors do a really nice job of keeping in touch, but they know so they don't overwhelm you. I mean, we're talking over the year, one or two emails a month. Maybe if you sign up for a project, maybe there's a couple more, but the workload is not overwhelming. I definitely would not let that dissuade anybody from participating. I'm a big believer in, if you want to see things done or you want to make sure things are getting done, then you need to be willing to step up and have those conversations and be a part of the process, be a part of the project. Um, you know, and one of the things that I really enjoyed, especially with some of the technology platforms that I've been a part of the conversations on, is just the fact where I sit with the vendor and say, that's great, but can we get it to do this? Or can I add this in? Because one of the big things that I deal with, and I'm sure many other ADs do, right now we're on about six different platforms, right? We have our ticketing platform and our social media platform and all these other things. How can we wrap all that into one, or as many as we can into one? And a lot of times these vendors will say, "Oh yeah, well we were thinking about that. We weren't sure if that was a good fit for this product." And you just explain to them, "Look, when I do my scheduling, if I can put my schedule in and put my ticketing in and put my graphics up and put my social media out in one sit down with one login and one place to be, that's been really the most rewarding part with me, that I feel like I'm now helping to make a difference and helping to make AD's lives a little easier." Not that they're ever going to be easy, but a little bit easier when it comes to managing some of that stuff. And the variety of vendors that they're working with. And you mentioned some of them, the scoreboard vendors and the platform, different platforms that are coming out. Um, just the ability to see all of the good ideas that are out there. And it's like anything else, and they'll tell you when you join in on the project, you may not be ready to use this product, but we still want your feedback because you'll make it better for somebody else. And I think that goes along to what you were speaking about earlier. In our field, one of the best resources we have is each other. And if I can offer something to a vendor to make a product a little better, to make my neighbor's school better, then that's awesome. That's great. But yeah, no, and what's really cool too about K12 is you're not committed to any time, any set thing. You pick and choose what interests you. And there have been a couple projects that have come up that I don't have any familiarity with. That's not something that I've used or want or looking to use, and I just don't pick up that project. But something else comes up, and I say, hey, that sounds really cool. I'm gonna get in on that. And the second level of that is once you make contact with those vendors, you've now opened that conduit for continuing conversations. So
No, again,
absolutely.
great summary, and I love how you touched on. You have an opportunity now as a member of the think tank to be on, the front end, that
Mhm.
cutting edge, if you will. But at the same time, it's completely up to you which projects you're going to choose to be a part of. And nobody, this is another one of your great points. Nobody knows better what an AD needs, what an AD wants, than another AD. And
Right.
here you are. Yeah, it's a 2-for-1. You're getting connected, you're building your network with athletic directors across the country, and you're also building connections, if you will, with
Yeah.
some of the leading vendors in a number of different areas. Let's go ahead and do this.
Mhm.
Sean, well, I want to mention this first. K12 has been around, the think tank has been around for about a year now, and they are closing in on their 500th member, an athletic director as part of the think tank. And there's I guess, kind of I'm trying to figure out what I want to say, a prize if you are the 500th AD to register. There's also a prize for the athletic director who refers that 500th. We're also going to throw in some free toolbox books on top of whatever K12 presents. So if you want to become a think tank member, go to K12sportstech.com, check out the platform, and there's a link there to join the think tank. And Sean, you do such a great job with your schools. Listeners, you got a tremendous resource here. Sean, if one of our listeners wanted to reach out and connect with you, pick your brain, not just about think tank, but about the things you're doing right now,
Absolutely.
what's the best way they can get a hold of you?
My best way is the email. sblumette, BLUMETTE at k12.wv.us. I know it's a mouthful and a lot of letters there, but we're on the Hancock County Schools website. Our web email is all available there. If you go to Hancock County Schools, search that. We're Athletics on Facebook or Twitter is also out there. Feel free to message me, send an email, send the text, or instant message or whatever. Yeah, absolutely. Always willing to help anybody that I can with whatever I can. I'm old enough and wise enough to know that not every idea I have is going to be a good one, but somebody's going to like it. Somebody out there may not work for me, but it may work for you a little bit better. Or I can at least tell you, hey, this is what we've done, or this is who I've talked to. I really like this. I didn't like this. I would do this a little different. And after 10 or so years in the business, you have a lot of those where you do a lot of self-reflection sometimes, and you look back and say, well, I could have done that a little different, or I could have done that a little better. um, and I'm also willing to listen too, and that's the other thing. Never I tell everybody that I speak with, when I do our coaches certification courses here in West Virginia, you never stop learning. Never stop learning. Never turn down an opportunity to get involved. The one thing I wanted to mention about the K12, now that they have their platform up, um, we sign up, we have our accounts there, we can go in and see what projects are coming up, and what's on the horizon, when it's going to open. So if we get some downtime here in the office, a lot of times I'll go on their website, I'll go on the K12 website and just say, okay, hey, what's coming up? What kind of products are we looking at this month, or what kind of projects might be interesting to me? So just having that ability to go out there and see what's, like you said, be on the forefront of it, and feel like we are being, for lack of a better term, being heard. For
Exactly.
athletics a lot of times got um, shorted because things were being developed by business people They were being developed by computer people. They were being developed by people who didn't have a real thorough understanding of what all goes into an athletic program or not an AD's job. Um, and so the products that were coming out a lot of times were good, and we made them work. But now that they're actually coming and getting our input on that and saying, hey, what makes your life easier? What makes your life better? What can make your program better? And that to me is, the best thing that you could tell an AD is, okay, what can I do for you to make your job better? So
Yeah, and again, that's another great point is, this is the think tank, it's athletic directors, and it's, them talking to and with those vendors that are trying to make our jobs that much easier. So, terrific point. Also want to mention Sean's information is also on the NIAAA membership portal. So, Sean, thanks again for taking time out of your busy day to share with our listeners. All the best moving forward. Also, listeners, if you're looking for a great AD conference, you need to go to the West Virginia conference. That's coming up the weekend of April 5th and 6th. I'm actually going to be there teaching and presenting. And of course, Sean's going to be there. So looking
absolutely.
forward to seeing you in person, Sean.
Yeah. I know we've been trying to get you up here for a couple of years and finally got it worked out. So I'm very excited that you're making the trip up and get a chance to sit down and talk with you and pick your brain about some things and hear what you have to say. Really really enjoy what you've done so far and enjoyed being on your podcast previously and glad to see you're still out here, you know, working with us,
Oh, no,
working with us.
absolutely. This podcast has been a great way for me to stay
Yeah.
connected. And I
Mm-hmm.
always joke, as long as people keep listening, we'll keep doing interviews just like this.
And as long as you want to keep talking, I'll gladly come back anytime you have me. So
Well, we'll get you back on, let's say, in the fall or,
yeah,
when you've got some of these new facilities going up.
yeah,
I'd love to
absolutely.
have you share with our listeners that whole story.
Sure.
Speaking of listeners, we want to say thanks and remind you that we do this segment just about every week and just about every day. We try to share stories from the world of education based athletics along with some best practices. So come back and join us again on another segment of the K12 Sports Tech AD Think Tank on the Educational AD Podcast. We'll see you next time. Before we go, of course, we're going to give a shout out to all of our great sponsors, starting with K12 Sports Tech. Go to K12sportstech.com to join the think tank and to find out all the great things that they can help you and your program do. We want to say thanks to Vital Signs Wall of Fame. Check out their touch screen. I'm telling you, touch screen console. It's a great way to showcase your scoreboards in your Hall of Fame. VitalSignsWallOfFame.com. I want to thank Snap and their entire platform of solutions. Go to snapraise.com. Athletic surveys. If you're not using a survey, you're really missing out on a great opportunity. Go to athleticsurveys.com. Hometown is a lot more than ticketing now. Go to hometown.com to find out what they can do for you and your program. Sideline Interactive indoor score tables and video boards. You've heard me say before, it's probably one of the best purchases we ever made. Go to sidelineinteractive.com. Home Campus, again, you've heard me say Home Campus is a platform you're going to use every single day. Go to homecampus.com. Ohio University and their online masters in athletic administration. Go to Ohio University and check out that platform as well. Huddle. I used Huddle as a football coach, as an AD. We were a Huddle school. Go to huddle.com. And finally, Gipper. Start creating world-class social media content. Go to gipper.com. Thanks again for listening. We'll see you next time on the Educational AD Podcast.